what's up? This is Matt with Let's Talk Music. I'm here with Axel and Marcus of Beneath My Feet, and they are joining us today from Sweden.
Yeah,
So,
Us.
how we doing today, guys?
it's all good.
Yeah, we're doing really good.
So, when I first heard this track, I loved it. I love the fact that you got two singers, which back in the day that was kind of unheard of, but it's becoming a lot more prevalent now. So you're one of the vocalists,
Yep.
and how does that work with two vocalists? I mean, is there any kind of conflict in the writing or any kind of conflict or
Constant struggles. No, I'm just joking. No, I think we kind of both we kind of have our own spaces. Like we have our own kind of sound in our voice. Sebastian, he's more of a fry screamer. I'm more of a like what's it called in English? Like is it false chord or like I use more of my chest voice when I scream.
okay, your
Kind of
diaphragm?
have two different kind of vibes to it.
Hmm.
Uh, so in that way we can use both to just alternate the way we want the song to progress and like battle each other with the vocals so it doesn't get just like the same type of screams or same kind of vibe to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say during the writing process, it comes kind of naturally who does what in a sense, and I think we're also really open minded to, maybe we write a part in a song and maybe Marcus get a really good feeling, so he really likes it, and then you know Sebastian will never say no, I will do it, or the other way around. I think we're really open minded in that way as well.
By the way, love your drum tracks, man.
Thank you.
Quite speedy. It's I've done your I would say you're probably my first real metalcore band. Um, they're either been rock or metal, and kind of no in between. So once I got this opportunity, I was like, oh, I want to jump on it. And your publicist is like, well, they're in Sweden. I'm like, well, let's set it up for a Sunday. I've got nothing to do, and that'll compensate for the time difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
And it's also just awesome to be able to see you guys on a screen and talk to you, when you're thousands of miles away.
Yeah,
So
technology.
let's talk about the new track, "Digging My Grave." It's off of the album In Parts Together.
Yeah.
Correct.
So tell me about the the process, not really the process, but the writing meaning behind the song.
Well, I think that song in particular started with lyrics that I wrote um, after my granddad died. I think that's how the lyrics started, and since me and Marcus are the ones who mainly writes the music, or at least the first ideas and demos for the music, I brought the lyrics to Marcus, and we kind of took it from that and worked together on the track.
Yeah, and I think it was one of those days where you wrote to me like, "Hey, let's go to the studio. I have an idea for lyrics," and we just went there. And I think by the end of the night or the day, the song was fairly done. I think when we
Yeah,
sent the demo, it's not that much of a difference from the way the demo was written to the final recordings that we made.
yeah, kind of like when you heard that Sia wrote the, what's it called, Diamonds in the Sky or something in 15 minutes. That's how it felt, at least. Like we went
Yeah,
there and then the song was done.
they kind of
Um,
wrote itself.
yeah, yeah. We go into our own bubble and then we come out and then there's a song, or at least sometimes when it works out the way we want it to.
Yeah, sometimes it takes goddamn years.
Yeah, yeah. But I say with this song in particular, the lyrics wise is um it might have been before he passed away, because the song is not about dying but maybe more prepare, knowing that you're about to pass away, preparing for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, sorry for your loss, man. I know that
Thank
sucks.
you. Thank you.
But I mean, it looks like something good did come out of it because you guys wrote a kick-ass song.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's I love really all the elements to it. I mean, it's starts out with the slow intro, and then once you guys hit it, I mean, you're full pedal to the metal all the way through the song and to the end.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's awesome. I mean, there's no slowdown in it. I think it was around 205 where you guys have the little breakdown. Love the breakdowns. I think that's always a good part in music because it's just more of a, you can just sit there and bang your head. You're like, man, I love this. So it's got really good elements to the whole thing. I think you guys definitely got a hit with this.
Yeah, and like even though it has like a deep, serious kind of meaning with the lyrics and stuff, we always find a way to like find our own way, have some fun with the music. I mean, the if we go to the breakdown, we call it the robot breakdown
Mm-hmm.
because of the kind of the synth stuff. Then we just went like, what do we want to do with the breakdown? Let's do something fun with it. Let's go bananas. What if a robot did this?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, and that's all part of it, man, is having fun and enjoying what you're doing.
yeah,
And oh, it looks like we lost Axel. Let me admit him back in here.
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's I think that when it becomes too serious is when you kind of lose interest. You always got to have fun with it. I know live shows are a big part of it. Getting out there with the crowd and those are always fun for the bands and the crowds. So also seeing that you guys had just signed with a worldwide record deal with Noble Demon.
yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
I've heard
Thank you.
I've heard good things about them. Actually, I think it was last Sunday. I interviewed a band from Switzerland,
Oh, really?
which is underneath Noble Demon. And
Cool.
let me just give a shout out to Noble Demon here real quick because they gave me a shout out on their Facebook. Love that.
Yeah.
It's getting me out there, and you know, I don't do this as a profession. I mean, this is more of a hobby for me. I have a deep rooted love for music, and it's just being able to talk to musicians, find out what makes them tick, tell them, hey, I appreciate what you do, I appreciate your music. So the more exposure I get, the happier I am, obviously, just like you guys, because
Yeah.
it um it will help me grow. If I can, I want to eventually start a podcast, and with that podcast, I want to take bands because most of the bands I do are independent. I want to take their music and play on that so that people around here can hear it.
Yeah,
Because I mean, I know people at our local rock station, and it's still almost impossible to get bands heard that aren't major labels. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there are a lot of bands out there, so you need to like it's hard getting through all those different bands. I mean, everyone wants a piece of the cake.
right.
Everyone wants to be seen and heard. So it's a real struggle, but as long as we're having fun with it, it doesn't really matter.
Right. And that's, I mean, that's like me. I enjoy this. I mean, um, I wouldn't do it otherwise. What would be the point?
Yeah,
And like I said, it's really cool that you guys are halfway around the world and we're sitting here having a conversation and stuff. And that's how I really just what makes it worth it. I mean, it's being able because I've always said that music is a universal language.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
so now I'm talking to, bands from, I mean, I've done Poland, Switzerland, Sweden, got a couple other countries. And I mean, you know, even though we're from different, parts of the world, and we have different beliefs and different, everything, we still can sit there and have a nice conversation about music.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to flip it around. I mean, we're in Sweden and you're way over there and you've heard our music.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's really cool to us.
Yeah, and I mean it is. It's freaking awesome, man. I mean, like I said, it's I really love the track. And it's one of the great thing about working with these publicists is that they've got bands from all over, and they'll send it to me, and I might say, well, let's work them in or whatever. Or other bands, like with you guys, when she sent me the press release, I was like, oh hell yes, I want these guys. So, because that's what, you're up my alley. You know what I mean? I'm 46 years old, but I'm into like 70s rock, 80s, 90s, and then my oldest son got me into metalcore with a band that was from Ohio. And ever since I've been like, okay, I can do this. Because at first I was like, man, you can't understand what they're saying, this and that. But then I learned to listen to it, and then and then the music itself.
Yeah.
And like I said, you guys put all those elements together that just really made a great song. I mean, again, it's just brutal and well put together. And my hat's off to you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So what's any plans of hitting the road, or are we just going to release singles for a little bit?
Well, we got one more single from the album coming. I think it's November 21st, or where was it? 24th. 20 something.
Yeah.
I should know this. And then we have the album dropping in January the 13th, I think.
Okay. And
something like that.
Or two.
January 2023.
Yeah. And of course we want to go out and play music.
Mhm.
I mean, we sat on these songs for a long time. We actually the recordings started like February 2019, just before, no, 2020, just before COVID hit.
Mhm.
And then I mean, I was sick when we did the recordings, but it wasn't COVID. Because it was before it could be COVID. I don't know. I never had COVID, never tested positive. So it could have been. But so my parts for the album had to wait. I think it was until like summer of 2020 when I did my vocals. And then like I became a father. Matthias, the bass player, no, thank you, also became a father, and stuff happened, and the pandemic was ongoing, and we started like the discussion with Patrick and Noble Demon, and all of that led to where we are now. Like now it's time to get these songs out, and we want to go out and play. We're gonna do a show in Sweden in 2 weeks, I think, roughly 2 weeks. Yeah, and hopefully do some touring next year.
Mhm.
I think mainly around Europe, but we would actually love to come to the US someday. That would be.
Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely be at your show. I mean, like I said, I love it, and I mean, it's like I was, telling the guy Demir from Switzerland, is like, hey, I, would love to come over to Europe and see you guys, but as you said, life happens, and it's logistical and all that crap, and I'm just like, um, being able to hear these tracks sent to me, I think, like, I actually just listened to it again before we started our interview, just kind of pump myself up, and the video. was actually pretty cool. I mean, just you guys playing live.
Yeah.
Was that like at a studio or a warehouse, or how did that all get put together?
It was actually it's at a local venue. It's like it's like the venue in our city where everyone has played.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like
even
a smaller stage, and we kind of made the video like a live performance.
yeah.
Okay.
We did 3 videos that weekend. We did this, and then we made a video for the next singles that is called "Caught in a Hurricane." And we also did a video for the song "One More Time" on the album. So this one was like a performance video, and the "Caught in a Hurricane" was the video maker, or the what's it called, producer, video producer. He had like free hands, do whatever you want. So that is kind of more, uh,
Edited.
yeah.
Okay.
And then we had like a behind the scenes kind of video on the third song. So we did 3 videos on one weekend. So I can't wait
Nice.
for you to see it.
Well, I definitely want to check out the album when it drops. Since beneath or digging my grave is the only one that I've heard. Do any of your other songs have clean lyrics in them, or are they all just pedal to the metal hardcore songs?
Yeah, I think most of them have like clean choruses.
Okay.
Uh, and it's a couple of songs that has only screams or harsh vocals in them, but I would say even those songs have kind of a, like, I mean, the chorus on "Dig My Grave" is also kind of it has like a melody vibe to it, even though
Hmm.
it's not clean vocals, but it has that kind of massive choir "Dig My Grave" tonal to it.
Right. Yeah, I did pick up on that. But
Yeah.
like I said, I was kind of curious about, so who do you and Sebastian share in the clean lyrics too?
Yeah, we do. I mean, some song he does the clean vocals on, and some songs I do the clean vocals on, and so we both scream and we both sing. That is kind of, I think that's kind of unique with a band in our genre with 2 vocalists. It's usually one
Mhm.
screamer and one clean vocalist.
Right, right. Yeah, so I mean that definitely sets you apart from the others. That's, a cool thing to hear and to know. It's uh I got we got one over here, I Prevail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, them guys love them, and they're it's one screamer, one clean, and it's it is, like you said, very rare element that both of you can do the same. Because one, I mean, I know it's two different types of training for your voice. I mean, you got one with the clean lyrics, is simply singing, and then I've watched people that do unclean lyrics, and it looks like their throat's going to explode.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, either both of them, I mean, take talent, and that's what my wife, she's like, oh, it's just screaming, and I don't really like screaming music. I'm like, yeah, but it takes talent to do that. It's not just somebody yelling in a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought for a long time as well. Because I'd, I mean, I'd say because you mentioned that this song is more, uh, it's not clean vocals in this song, but I'd say when we write music, we usually aim for, uh, like a really melodic chorus.
Mm-hmm.
We don't always end up there, but I'd say we usually tend to want to go there because, like I said, we're the one who writes most of the music, and we're the the two like pop song guys in the band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind, yeah. And
So
then I mean, I think it's really good that we have the balance that the other guys wants to have the screams and the hard parts as well.
yeah. So how did you come up with the name Beneath My Feet?
Oh, I always dread for this question because
I
there is
never
no
remember.
good answer. I,
Yeah.
I remember like you, me, and the bass player, and
Can we start by saying we started this band many years ago? So this was a long time ago.
Yeah. And I think if we go way back, like do a trip down memory lane, I would say almost like when we started out, it almost more had like a Avenged Sevenfold kind of vibe to it.
Okay.
I think that was
That was our main inspiration source. Or
yeah when we started out because then I played the guitar. Um I still like it's hard. I still consider myself like I'm a guitarist. I'm not a vocalist.
Right.
Like, hi, I'm Marcus. I'm a guitarist, but I do sing in my band. Yeah. Um, so I played the guitar. We had only one singer, and it was kind of like a Avenged Sevenfold kind of vibe to it. And I remember we sat down, like we struggled choosing a band name, and I don't remember why Matthias dropped like, oh, what about Beneath My Feet? And we were like, yeah, we could be like, we're above everyone else, you know, 20s kind of mentality, like we're
I think,
immortal.
yeah, and maybe the main reason was we thought it sounded cool.
Yeah,
It does. I
yeah.
mean,
That's good.
I wish it had a deeper meaning.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean it's and it is there's so many different band names out there, and I think it's hard to kind of really choose one that fits you. And uh, Beneath My Feet is definitely fitting for you guys with the
well, that's
song
good.
that I've heard that it's like it sounds metal. You know what I mean? It's like I, I'm gonna stomp your ass. You're beneath my feet. So it is definitely fitting. Now is this your first major release since you guys signed with Noble Demon, or did you have? You said you've been at it for a long time. So did you have um, other releases that reached the U.S. or was it primarily over there in Europe?
I would say like if we look at our like if we look at Spotify and look statistics, we have a lot of our listeners in the US. Um, and this will be our second full-length album. We released one ourselves in 2014,
Mm-hmm.
and we released our first EP back in 2011. Well, was it 12?
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
So yeah, you guys have been around for a while.
Yeah, and I mean, it's it's kind of grown more serious towards the end, I believe. I mean, we were
Yeah,
kind of were serious in 2014 when we released Origins as well, but I mean, we somehow it feels like now we're more confident in ourselves and like
yeah. I'd say from my perspective, I think back then we were still trying to figure out what we wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and Noble Demon, I mean, um their executives definitely have a lot of knowledge in music. I mean, I know that I read they're a combination of Nuclear Blast and oh, what was the other one? Anyways, I know Nuclear Blast was big here back in the 80s. A lot of metal bands signed with them and stuff, and
Yeah,
the fact that they started this up and they're signing bands like you guys and some of the others I've heard. I love it, man. I mean, and you guys, it sounds like you've been at it for quite some time, and you're kind of now getting your just desserts.
yeah,
You're with a label. You got an amazing publicist. At least here in the U.S., Shauna, I love her. She hooks me up constantly with great bands, great music. And it's great to experience stuff that I probably would have never, because I don't really get on Spotify much. I have it. My main source of seeing hearing music and stuff is YouTube. you know
yeah.
So, and that's one of the things, that's what happened after we get done with this is I'll edit the video, get it all set up and put it on my YouTube channel. Which, isn't huge, but it's getting a following, and, that gets you guys heard amongst people. I mean, people hear people. I mean, if I look at my statistics, I mean, there's a lot of people in Europe that check it out. There's a lot of people in like, Asia, South Africa, United States, South America. So, I mean, it's getting out, and that's great for both of us. Because, I mean, even if I pick up, one subscriber a day, that's something. Or if I don't care. Like I said, I do this for fun, and I enjoy talking to people. I'm a people person, and you guys, have to be people because you're in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just like I said, man, you guys really rock, and I look forward to when the album drops. I'm definitely gonna check that out. You know, I want to get check out. Do you guys have a website?
I think we do, but we don't use it. I think we mainly use like our social medias like Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, there is beneathmyfeet.se.
Okay.
All right.
Tried to get like the .com or .net, but they were like feet fetish websites, so we were like, fuck. Like, okay.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Go to check out the band and you see some feet fetish.
Yeah.
So do you guys? I mean, do you sell merch on your social media?
Yeah, we have like is it the Bandcamp, I think, that sells the merch, and also now we will have a store through Noble Demon as well.
Please.
So a lot of the merch selling site will be connected to the Noble Demon site.
No, and I know that merch helps your guys' cause. That's a good source of income, especially at live shows and stuff. What about vinyl? Are you guys going to press any vinyl?
I believe we had the discussion with Patrick, and I think we're gonna do it, but I'm not sure. I want to do it.
It's making a comeback, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what happens when you start releasing music through a label. You don't really know everything because you're not doing everything yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it just I'm asking my kind of questions that I just I want to know for myself mainly, because I my wife is the one that suggested that I started this whole thing. She wanted me just to do a blog, but I'm a bit go big, go home kind of guy. So I, started a website and everything else. And, she bought me a record player for Christmas. I think it was last year or the year before. And it was probably one of the best Christmas gifts I've ever got. She bought me a couple of records with it. She bought me Led Zeppelin, the Eagles, Leonard Skinner. I went out and bought Def Leppard and a couple others, and I love it. And I would love to start another vinyl collection because back in the day, when I was growing up, vinyl was kind of becoming obsolete, and it was cassette tapes. Then it was CDs. And I had rows and rows and rows of cassette tapes set up, and I mean, I would put them thing in my my cassette player and crank the music up, and just I'd wear them tapes out, man. And I feel honestly that you guys are this is your job. This is what you do to support yourself and stuff. And I feel like streaming music for free kind of cuts you out of what you deserve. So I personally feel like spending $15-$20 on a record or $25 on a shirt is not that much out of somebody's pocket to say, hey, I enjoy what you do, and here's my contribution to your cause. So
yeah.
But anyway, fellas, I've had you long enough. I will let you guys get back to your lives, and yeah, I gotta get stuff started around here. So I really do appreciate your time, and looking forward to the album release.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All
And thanks
right,
for having us. It was great talking to you.
you
Really
too,
fun.
man. I really enjoyed it. So you guys have a it's evening over there, so you have a good evening, and hopefully we'll be able to chat again at some point.
Yeah, sure. And we'll get back to you about the banner.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys, have a good one.